Hi there, my name's Charlotte Aldhouse. I'm a PGCE student of Modern Foreign Languages. My specialities are French and Spanish. I completed my studies at University of East London in 2009. During my PGCE, I did 2 placements of about 12 weeks each in totally different schools. The first school was in a more affluent area, and I taught Key Stage 3 Spanish and Key Stage 3 and 4 French, which was really, really exciting and really challenging as it was my first proper experience of teaching in a classroom. In my second school, it was much more of an inner city location, and again I taught Key Stage 3 Spanish and Key Stage 3 and 4 French. At this school, I also had the additional responsibilities as a form tutor, which was really rewarding, and I got to do parents' evening and get to feedback with the parents and see the interaction between the students and their parents, which was really, really interesting. I completed my newly qualified teacher induction year at a school in Dagenham in East London, where I was on a 1-year contract. I found this school really, really challenging, but very, very rewarding, and I found the staff worked really well as a team, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I got to also experience other departments, so I worked alongside the English department, teaching English to Year 10 CD borderline children, and also I taught BTEC Health and Social Care to Year 12s, so it was really interesting to have a much more varied timetable. I continued to teach French for the majority of my time and obviously finished my induction year. I then moved on to my most recent school, where I've been for the last 5 years. This is in North London, in the borough of Enfield. I started off teaching French and then added in Spanish and German as well as Key Stage 3. Along the way, I became a mentor for the overseas teachers, the teaching assistants, and that included Chinese, Mandarin. So I started helping out with Mandarin lessons as well. This was amazing, and we found really interesting for the students as well to have this variety of languages on offer. In my 3rd year there, I also took on the additional responsibility of being assistant head of faculty. This was to cover a maternity leave. Along with my normal teaching responsibilities of planning lessons and marking, I also had to take on responsibilities for running the team. So I did all the resourcing and ordering stock, alongside controlled assessments and GCSE speaking exams as well. I had to complete all the paperwork and help submit that by the deadline, which was really interesting to see the whole process, how that works. One particularly challenging situation I had was a class of 24 lower ability students, where about 20 of them had special education needs, including one autistic child. This was really new for me to have such an extreme learning difficulty. Most of the other students had dyslexia or low reading age and literacy problems, but it was the whole class together was quite a challenge. The way I overcame this was by having very set routines in place, so that for the autistic child especially, he didn't like too many changes, so that really made him feel more comfortable in my room, and he always sat in the same seat and he always had the same people around him. I also broke the lessons down into really small, manageable tasks so that everyone could feel that they didn't lose their attention span and that everyone felt they could achieve. I also used quite a lot of repetition of the new words that we were trying to learn. So we did activities in speaking, listening, reading and writing, all using the same words each lesson. So there was a lot of momentum building from what they'd already learned, which gave them that sense of satisfaction. It was really brilliant to see their confidence growing throughout the year, and so much so that at the end of the school year they actually wrote and performed their own song in French for our Eurovision Song Contest, which was really amazing. They all got to be on stage and perform together. Throughout my teaching, I've developed a number of behaviour management techniques, which have really allowed me to teach the lessons the way I wanted to teach, and it's also allowed the students to make the progress I expect them to make, and sometimes they exceeded that as well, which was brilliant. So techniques I've got, such as giving a very clear warning, a very clear set of expectations and guidelines up front, and then the main thing is to follow through on what I've said. So although they may have tested me in the beginning, they know that I will do what I say, and that's both for good or for bad. So if I promised them a phone call home because they've been good, I would make it. And if I promised them a detention because they didn't do the right thing, then I also would follow through on that. I think that way they knew what to expect from me. There were no surprises, and they knew how to impress me and what I expected for them to achieve. My main philosophy with behaviour management is to model good behaviour. So I would always talk to them in a calm and respectful way, even if they weren't doing exactly what I wanted. But I would just calmly explain that to them and point out what the repercussions would be if they didn't start doing the right thing that they knew they should be able to do. I also, over the years there, developed quite strong relationships with my students because they knew they could rely on me and they knew that I trusted them and I could rely on them. I really enjoyed being a form tutor, and my school had vertical tutoring, so my year 7s eventually became my year 11, so I saw them go through the whole stages of school, which was really great, and it felt really like a family with all the different ages in one class, so I really enjoyed that role as a form tutor. So what I think I can bring to a school is not only my experience of teaching and my reliability as a teacher, but also my genuine passion to help young people to learn skills and gain confidence that they're going to need for the rest of their lives so they can become the best version of themselves.